Um, okay. Oh, okay. Fantastic. 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 Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome once again, and I am also welcoming myself. All right, so I'll be teaching everyone here how to write and present a winning pitch deck. I'll take it I'll take it nice and slow with everyone, and please feel free to ask questions. I have been given 90 minutes. I intend to use half of that so that we can have, or less than half of that, so that we can have enough time to interact. You can ask questions, and then we can go forward. So today I'm going to share with you a few things, or the essential components of a pitch deck. And I'm going to show you two startups that I worked with. One is actually a business and the other is a startup. Is that one is an SME rather, who was trying to become a startup. So usually the difference between a traditional SME and a startup is startups are are defined by two major uh, would I say two major telltale signs. The first is a startup is heavily reliant on technology, meaning that if you remove tech from the startup, it will cease to exist. And a startup has the potential to blitz scale as opposed to a traditional SME business that grows rather arithmetically as opposed to growing geometrically. Pardon the English, so that it's not look like I didn't go to school. That's why, I'm using, all these go to go. But what I'm trying to say is this: and the business that has the potential to grow from 1x to 10x in the shortest possible period of time can be considered as a startup, according to popular schools of thought. All right. So first off, let me ask a question to everybody. Who here is who here has a business and is looking for money? So that I know that I'm speaking to the right audience. Who here has a business and they are looking for money? Okay, Betty.
I do.
Is it Candy Farms? Okay, gotcha. All right. Helen Joseph, Koforola, Ify. Wait, we know everybody needs money, but I mean, like for your business, that's what I mean. Just to be very sure. Oh, okay. Yes, for my business. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So first off, before I tell you um, what your business presentation needs to look like, first I need to describe who your investor persona, what your investor usually would look like, a male or a female. And usually they call these people who will give you the first check, they'll call them angel investors. There are different types of investors. We have angel investors, we have venture capitalists, we have private equity, and so on and so forth. A VC is usually an asset manager, a fund manager that manages money on behalf of people they call limited partners, LPs. Private. These are people who are high net worth individuals who have some cash to dispense, right, for investment purposes, right? So a VC will come, pull all these funds together, and make investment decisions on their behalf. On the other hand, an angel investor is, and so usually VCs have like, because a lot of angel investors or LPs come together to have their funds managed by a VC. Typically, rather they have larger check sizes to give. So they have $100,000, 200,000, 10 million, 5 million, right? But a typical angel investor is someone who, wants to be involved in the very, very early stages of the business. Um, Especially if the business does not need so much money to start, whether it's a startup, whether it's an SME, whether it's whatever. So this typical angel investor could give anything as little as $1,000 or even $500 all the way to 100K. You have some angel investors who might even drop 500K, depending on their pocket size and how much they believe in what you're doing. So let me share with you a typical angel investor persona. Usually an angel investor has access to market insights, what is happening in the economy or what is happening in the ecosystem. What that also means is there's some, like, let's say you are into food, right? Let's say you want to build a restaurant as an SME, right? uh, there's some angel investors who will not invest in food businesses because they don't really know anything about it. It's not like they don't like you, it's not like they don't think your business will not work. It's just because some people feel more comfortable investing in things that they're familiar with. Now you have some angel investors who are sector agnostic, meaning that they don't care, right? They can invest in anything, in anyone, any place, right? As long as it makes sense, right? So, and that also applies for a startup. So if you're doing a food business as an SME, or you're selling wares, or basic import export stuff, there are angel investors who can partner with you, right? On the other hand, if you're also a startup, regardless of so the reason I'm telling you this is so that, because you have people you will go and meet with your presentation and they'll tell you no, but I don't want you to feel like, sometimes it's not because you didn't do a very good job at presenting your idea. It's just because they are not the right fit for you. And please, okay, all right. So that's one. Also, your angel investor or your potential angel investor has network, a network of other angel investors, a network of other people who might be high net worth individuals rather, who might have similar check sizes to match with his or hers, just to make sure that your business has the required funding and support. Because many times an investor doesn't just bring money; they are partners, right? Investors are partners. Don't see them as your bosses. Don't see them as um, and also don't see them as people that you can take for granted, because for them to give you their money is because it shows that they believe in what you're doing, right? So, but they don't just bring many investors do not just bring money to the table. They'll also give you access to their network. So network also means other angel investors. They can speak to their other friends or colleagues who have money to give, and also they can also help you, especially for startups who are building businesses under a very harsh under a very harsh regulatory climate. For instance, people who are in fintech where there's a lot of regulation, your angel investor might know one or two people in certain key areas, key places, that might help you get a license, or share a license, or so on and so forth. So that's where their network comes into play. And back to insights, market insight. There are times that you're doing a business that you are catering directly to the customer, but because of the information they have, they'll tell you, oh, why can't you pivot to a B2B business model? We'll get into all that uh, jargon very soon, right? Why can't you pivot into um, something that caters to other businesses, as opposed to just catering to just a single user, a single customer? So, angel investors, as with other types of investors, they are your partners. So they won't just give you money; they'll give you access to their network. They'll give you access to market insights that you might not be well aware of, regardless of, there are times that you do a lot of research online, but there's some gists in the industry that you will readily not find online, right? But these people have it because they have their ears in certain places that you will not have access to. So yes. Now, another thing I need you to know about a potential angel investor is that usually they are very busy and they have um, short attention spans, right? Which means, and that's why you find out these days people don't give business plans to people to read. An investor will not sit down and carry 50 pages and start reading about the history of your business, the background, research. They don't really have that time, right? And many of them still have their jobs that they do. Some of them even work in 9 to 5, right? Some of them have their own companies that they started. And they have their own families to manage. So they are very, very busy people. And therefore, whenever you're going to make a presentation, whenever you're going to send a document, a pitch, it has to be very short. It needs to explain what your business does. It needs to catch them, right? And I'll tell you what your pitch deck should look like, and I'll show you a few examples of some of the pitch decks that I wrote for people. Um, and one of the reasons an investor may have a short attention span is because they see a lot of proposals every day. Other than the fact that they have their businesses, they have their families that they are managing, they have their own aspirations that they are pursuing. They also see a lot of proposals, a lot of pitches, a lot of presentations, right, from other people. Funnily, they might even see a lot of proposals from people in your own industry. So you might have a food business, but in that same week, that same angel investor has seen 20, 30, 40, 50 presentations on food, right? Uh-huh. Right. And typically because they have limited resources to give to the people that they want to invest in. So sometimes they want to invest in 2, 3 companies, and you might just happen to be one of those companies that is top of mind, right? So um, it means that, so if the person had like $200,000 to give, so it means that if the person wants to give to 4 businesses. On average, they might want to give 50K to 4 businesses, right? So amongst all the 50 businesses that might have come to them to pitch during the week, right? They might have 50K to give these businesses. You understand what I'm saying? So they would approach your pitch with skepticism. You will need to prove beyond unreasonable doubt that your business is worth investing in. And so your goal when you do a pitch is to turn your potential angel investors into believers. Because when they believe in your dream, they will back it with their capital. They will put their money where their mouth is. All right. Are we making progress?
Yes.
Okay. All right, because I can see someone saying, okay, yes, we are. Okay, I just needed to make sure that everyone can see my screen, and everybody, um, please, can you see the little angel icon?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good, very good. All right, so the next thing I want you to do is to look at this next slide. Your pitch deck or your proposal needs to address 4 major things, but they're all addressing one thing, and what they're addressing is why. Why are you solving this problem? That's what you're telling the investor. Why is your solution the perfect fit for this problem? Why now? And why you? All right. Why are you solving this problem? Why is your solution a perfect fit for this problem? Why are you solving this problem now? And why is it you that is the best person to solve it? Right. And so that is what your pitch deck would look like. Right. Now, which now leads to usually the contents of your deck. Your deck needs to contain, um, it needs to show them the problem you're solving. Sometimes people will call it opportunities, that, oh, this is the opportunities we've seen in the market and this is our solution, and so on and so forth, right? Then you need to talk about the solution. The solution talks mostly about how you've been able to, solve this problem, whether as a business owner or as a startup using technology. Then you need to show that there is a demand for this product, right? And when you show that there's a demand for this product, you show it with numbers, right? It's not just enough to say, oh, people are patronizing. You show them with, the value of the market and so on and so forth. We'll talk a little deep into it. Then you need to talk about use cases or user journey, meaning that how does your product work, basically? Then your business model, which is very, very important because your pitch deck tells a story, right? Your business model is one of the key anchors, right, to your story, which means how your business operates, how how your business makes money, and once they see how your business makes money, they're already working in their minds how, you know, um, how they're going to get a return in the future for the investment that they're making. Then one of the things you also need to show is traction. An investor would is more likely to invest in a company that has traction than a company that does not have traction. Just simply means progress reports, right? How many people have joined your wait list? You can have as little as a wait list. A wait list just means that, oh, there are people who like the idea that you're working on and are most likely to patronize you when your product is in the market, right? um, but investors are much more likely to invest in a company that already has paying users, paying customers, right? Then the team consists of you and other people who might be helping you, maybe like your partner, your co-founder, and so on and so forth. And of course, your pitch should contain, because one of the reasons you're going to pitch to an investor is that you need money, right? So you tell them that, look, we want this money, this amount of money, and we'll give you in return this percentage of the business. And that percentage means something to them. Today we might not be able to go too deep into that part, but I will do my best as much as possible to go into as much as I can as time will allow. Like I said, your business model is simply a playbook, how your business, makes money. Today, I'm also going to show you how to write a business model canvas, which is a business model canvas is majorly a business plan on a page. They call it a plan on a page. So that way you can just pick it up and look at your business in one glance. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. I'll show you how it looks like. And we can probably even create. So even today, if we are not able to create a pitch deck, we can create a business model canvas. Usually when you create a business model canvas, an investor can take a look at it, understand what you're saying, right, and have further engagements with you, right. And so your business model canvas also, your pitch deck sometimes would also arise from your business model canvas. That's for people who like to think very graphically. Your business model canvas or your business model will also contain things like your monthly recurring revenue, how you make money and how it translates to your monthly recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, your burn rate, customer acquisition costs, and so on and so forth. So let's take an example of a pitch deck that I wrote for a company called Diba Mills. Please, just to make sure that we are all together, can you see this company called Diba Mills?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. I also need to make sure that people understand what I have said in the last few paragraphs. Excuse me. Sorry, I just need to get some water. Just a moment. All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I want to ask, before I continue, was I too fast in how I was speaking? Because I want to make sure that I'm speaking to the rhythm of how you can assimilate what I'm saying. Because I understand that this is like a very rushed class, as it were. Okay. Okay. Please, if at any point in time you feel that I am rushing, please just call me back so that I can backtrack. Please, the most important thing here is to make sure that we all go with something. We all go home with the knowledge as to how to write a deck. All right. Okay, and then please, in case you're not speaking, I would appreciate if you can mute your call. Okay, someone just sent to me to emphasize on the pitch deck because they have a pitch next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is a presentation, a pitch deck that I wrote for a company. I'm going to present two companies that I wrote their deck for. So remember what I talked about. Pitch decks can have a few things that might differ from one another. Remember the template I showed you did not have something called competitive advantage, right? We're going to so sometimes when a business does not have some form of traction, right? And it's yet to be proven. It's easy for you to say, oh, our competitive advantage is this. But when you get into the market, sometimes it plays out very differently, right? So, but some companies intentionally still put it there just so that the investor, because, and oftentimes they're not, the investor that you're talking to, when you profile the investor, already has an idea of what your industry looks like, right? So, and so that's why usually when you have further calls with them, they'll tell you, okay, so how are you different from this person and this person? But putting this slide there helps them to just majorly, it gives them an understanding of how you are seeing your business with the competitive landscape, as it were, right? So let's go into it. So the name of this company is called Diba Mills. So instead of her calling it a problem, because it's a woman that actually owns the business, right? Instead of her calling it a problem, she chose to call it an opportunity. So and please, when you're writing your pitch deck, do not make it too wordy. WORDY. If there's a lot of text, like I said, remember your investor has a short attention span, right? If there's a lot of text, it messes it up, right? Then you are telling them to read a report instead of a presentation, as it were, and they really might not have that time. In fact, they might really like to read it, but because they have other presentations to read, rather read stuffs that are short than read things that are long, right? Uh-huh. So yes, so she was saying that, oh, there's an overwhelming desire amongst millennials to have a variety of healthy food, and affordable meals that can be quickly delivered, right? So, and they were trying to move into Lagos and so on and so forth, right? And then she had to note there that the fast food industry is growing at an annual rate of 10%, compound annual growth rate. But remember, you are sharing a story, right? I will walk you through how to present your idea. So one of the things you need to do is define the problem as short as possible. Even I thought this problem was quite it was quite a mouthful. But at the end of the day, the person is your client, and the person insists that this is what they want you to do. This is what you have to do, right? But my job as a consultant, I haven't done that, is to also counsel and say, look, this might be a mouthful. You just want them to understand what you're building as quickly as possible. And so she did not really put a solution. She was like, just tell us our mission, our vision. But the next slide I'm going to show you is a bit more direct, right? Then finally, I'm going to show you my own slide for the company that I am building, Feather. And amazingly, we have one of our teammates on the call, Bumi. She heads people and operations at Feather. So she's here to give me some moral support for this work before we get back to our day-to-day office meeting. So shout out to you, Bumi. So yes. Then we have about us. So instead of her putting a solution, essentially, she just put, oh, they really want to satisfy people, and this is their vision. So it was more like a presentation than a pitch, right? And so sometimes when I'm writing a presentation for someone, I already ask them, do they have an investor in mind? So the difference was, this woman here already had an investor that she has spoken to already, and the person was willing to drop some money, but the person just wanted to see it documented. That's why she could actually accommodate, the mission statement, the vision statement, so on and so forth, which is not a bad thing. That's why I said it's very important to research whoever you're presenting to, right? But the next presentation I'm going to show you after this one will just show you a typical pitch deck. If you are cold mailing an investor, for example, or you just happen to be presenting somewhere where you're not sure who would approach you for money, right? So they might not really care to know what your mission or your vision is. They just want to know, what problem are you solving, what's your solution, and how big of a problem is it. That way, because if you're solving a problem for 100 people, an investor might not be interested. But if you're solving a problem for 1 million people, it will really catch their attention. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So then she had to show the value of the market, the total available market, in the industry. So, and then the serviceable available market. Look, let me just tell you, there are three things that you need to put at the back of your mind when you're talking about market validation. It's called TAM, SAM, SUM. TAM means total available market. SAM means serviceable available market, or serviceable addressable market, depending on whoever is writing that deck. And the third is serviceable obtainable market. What does all this bugu mean, right? So without having to go too deep into the economics of what a market is, um, a market is just a place where a lot of transactions for a similar commodity um, is happening or exists. So you have an oil market, a food market. So in mile 12, almost everybody in Lagos knows what they might never, maybe you've not been there, but you must have heard of mile 12. And usually when you hear mile 12, what comes to mind is food supplies, tomatoes, vegetables, meat, and so on and so forth. So in mile 12, you have a lot of transactions that are happening, right? But they're all centered around food. If you go to um, you know an industrial area, right? Okay, let's just focus on the market thing, which is mile 12, so that I don't give too many examples, so you understand. A lot of transactions are happening right in mile 12, but they are centered around food. So mile 12 is a food market. Now there are other types of mile 12 markets in Nigeria. You have different types of food markets in Abeokuta, Ogun State, in the north, in Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, in the southeast and the southwest. So when you combine all these markets together, when you combine all the value of transactions that happen in this market, right? That is the total available market. So let us assume that mile 12 plus all the other big markets like that, and even small markets, informal markets in the whole of Nigeria amounts to $1 billion. That is the total, that all the money that changes hands in a year, right, concerning the purchase of food items amounts to about $1 billion, right? That's what it means. So that's what we mean by a total available market. Now, the serviceable, English is a very amazing thing. The serviceable, available, or addressable market means that within your locality, or within the confines of the resources that you can spend, within your go-to-market strategy, within your preference for a certain geographical area or a certain demography of people, which of these markets would you like to address? Because if you tell an investor that, look, we can cover the whole 36 states in Nigeria within our first 3 months, they will not take you seriously, because you are telling them that you're just going to carry their money and burn it. Right. Right. So, but you need to address a percentage of the market, right? So this percentage of the market, you can say, oh, out of all these 36 huge markets in Nigeria, in Abeokuta, you have a market like Pansheke or Shakmo, right? But in Lagos, you have like mile 12, and so on and so forth, right? So you can say, oh, our serviceable addressable market is mile 12, right? But our serviceable obtainable market, that the one that is within our reach, or our low hanging fruit, is that pepper seller within, or all the pepper sellers within mile 12. So your sum is a subset of your SAM, which is a subset of your TAM. Let me say that again. Sorry, I used a little bit of mathematical lingua. Your sum is part of your SAM, which is part of your TAM. That's what I'm saying. In other words, pepper sellers are in mile 12, and mile 12 is a part of the market community of the entire 36 states, right? I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, right? And so sometimes for you to um, capture this, you cannot just be writing literature. You have to put it in numbers. And so one of the ways you do that is you do a research on Google. Just say, oh, what's the value of the electronic market in Nigeria, right? And I'm sure you know that there are different electronic markets too in Nigeria. For instance, Alaba, a computer village, and there are other types of markets like this in other parts of Nigeria, right? In Abuja, you have Area 1, that they do food, but they do a little bit of electronics and so on and so forth, right? So you have all these types of markets. So sometimes you might need to research. Why? Because you already have companies who have done some research, some groundwork for you, like McKinsey, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, and so on and so forth. You can find it online, Statista, you find all these people who do that. And it's always good to quote your sources. Sometimes you can even check a newspaper publication. Sometimes newspaper publications might not be very accurate, because sometimes they also make reports based on reported speak, right? They might have seen a reporter somewhere or a research somewhere that someone did that might not be so accurate, and then they just carry it and put it on their own blog. And so usually investors are looking out for very reputable companies like Statista. We can probably have a list and put it down. For some of these places, you might need to even pay a subscription to get access into market insights, right? But it's important that you do that. But that is an investor at DreamWorks calls it a top-bottom approach, meaning that we just go and search for what um, researchers have done, and then we just make sense out of it. Especially people who might have a tertiary education where you did a final year project. When you're doing your analysis, you're able to deduce that, okay, if the market is this, okay, I can put plus or minus 10% of the market, and then you just put something that's quite conservative so that it doesn't look like you're trying to over patronize, or you're trying to overhype the value of the business, because sometimes an investor will smell bullshit a mile away. Sorry for my French, but I just needed to say that, because sometimes startup founders, over embellish what it is they're trying to do, right? Just so that they can get money to do what they really want to do. And that is not proper ethics, right? So I just needed you to understand that. So if you look at my sources here, I quoted CIUCI in the US. I quoted Index Mundi, which are quite reputable sites for things like, I quoted Pulse, which is just to show that, like I said, news outlets sometimes don't give the most accurate reports, but sometimes it's good to put it so that so that investors know that, oh, it's actually a thing that people are actually talking about, right? Then I also quoted OAU Ife, because their business was based in Ife, and so they were trying to move to Lagos. So at the time, the deck was for Ife, or like all the things that were happening in Ife, and then they were trying to move to Lagos, right? So the next thing is business model. How do you make money, essentially, right? So there are different types of business models. You have the most common type of business model is business to customer. That is, you are a business and your primary customers are individual users who probably come to buy your service or come to buy your product. Now, in a B2C business model, right, you have, I'm going to share you a link, and this is just for your own consumption. You don't, because I hear that, so I'm also conscious about, what you have to do. I'm going to send you a link for a book. Please remind me, business model generation. Let me just look for the link on the internet and just send it to you. Just one moment. Okay, so you could just, at your own leisure, you could actually walk into a store. I'll actually advise you to buy it on Amazon or wherever you can find, and just buy the book instead of, but if you don't have the money to buy the book, it's okay, to borrow from someone or borrow from a website. May you understand. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. So there are different types of business models. You have a business to customer model or a business to business, meaning that your customers are businesses. For instance, if you operate a grocery type of company whereby you're helping people deliver food, for instance, all they have to do is pay you for the delivery and pay you for, like people like Mano, Glovo, Eden Life, where people can help you get groceries, as it were. They can supply it to your house or your office and all that. Then you have some companies where they like to order lunch for their staff, maybe every day or twice a week, right? They pay for that and they deliver to the company, and the company then delivers to their staff. So that's a business serving another business. Now there's something called a subscription model, which is a subset of a B2C, or can even be a subset of a B2B type of making money. So what a direct to customer or direct to business model means is that for every time you um, order food, or you order a product, or you request a service, you have to pay for that service. No pay, no service, no pay, no product. But a subscription model is just saying that, look, I'm going to pay for something for a whole month or for a whole year, and I'm expecting um, you know, um, more, I'm expecting a consistent delivery of this type of product or this type of service, right? Now, so the advantage of a subscription model to a company is you have your money, you can predict when your money comes, right? As a business like Netflix, they know that at X day of X month, depending on when you did the subscription, 1 million people are going to get debited for, I don't know, how much is Netflix subscription? $1, two, 10? Let's just say $10, right? So 10 times 1 million people. So it means that every month their MRR, their monthly recurring revenue, is $10 million. So it's easy for them to do their financial projections, meaning that in a year, we're making $120 million from subscriptions. So they can then, okay, if I deduct my cost of service, my cost of goods, our server cost, and all that, then they can now see what their profit looks like. So it's easy for a company to plan and manage their finances off a subscription model. But it only makes sense. A subscription model makes sense when you are sure that customers will patronize you at any given time, as opposed to pay as you go, right? So it's also important to show the progress that you've made, right? She said that, our business started in 2018. They have generated about $10,000, or I mean, they have sold the total payment volume or the total amount of food they've sold. It has been worth, $10,000, over a 3-year period, which includes going to the market, the cost of the food, cost of packaging, cost of delivery, blah, 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 everything together, $10,000. They've sold over 2,000 plates of food, and 20% of their customers patronize them within the first 3 months of engagement, which means that they have data on anybody that comes to buy food from them in their student environment. So they were looking for $2,000 investment, right? And she showed that, look, part of this is, I have capital expenditure, which is, buying things. For instance, say buying utensils. There's a more comprehensive pitch deck, but because of, privacy policy, I can only show you this one, right? Utensils, packaging items, and so on and so on. And then there are operating expenditure, which would be like maybe paying for delivery, paying for, stipends for their salary, for their staff, and so on and so forth. So they're also telling you that, look, if you give us this money, this is what we are going to achieve. Because you need to tell the investor that, look, if you give us this money, this is what we're going to achieve in 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. So usually when an investor gives you money or when you announce a round, there are different types of rounds, right? Which means there are different times at your business, at the point of your business where you will need certain amount of capital. That's what a round really just means, right? So you'll hear things like angel round, Series A, pre-seed, seed, and all the series round, right? Um, so they were saying that, oh, look, in 12 months. So usually an investor, once you are able to announce a round and you close that round, meaning that you're able to get all the money you need, usually it's expected to last from somewhere between 12 and 24 months, right? But the goal of your business is that your business should be customer funded, which means at some point in your business, you should stop raising money. You should stop depending on investor money. Your business is enough, solvent enough to to take care of its needs and also to run day-to-day operations. And the only reason you will need to raise money going forward is to just expand your business instead of keeping your business alive. So if you are raising too much, it might be a red flag for your investors. And if you are raising too often as well, it might also be a red flag for your investors. Right. So, and then they're thinking of optimizing with that money that they were going to raise. They wanted to optimize their profits and to increase their profit from what it was before to 40%. And then they intend to serve a regular, they intend to stand in serving about 500 people every month, a 5% month-on-month growth, which just means that the next month they hope to serve 525 people. The next month after that, they're going to serve 550 something people, and so on and so forth. That's what it means, the 5% month-on-month growth, right? So the next company that I'm going to be talking about is Holdaway. It's a company that I did another pitch deck for. But before I go into this, I just want to open the floor out for people to ask their questions. Do you have any questions, or do you just want me to do this presentation and then we take questions and I now teach you how to, because really, I'm just showing you what a pitch deck should look like. So you can just copy and say, okay, my problem statement is this, my solution is this, my that is this. Blessing, I'm coming to you very soon to ask your question. Just one moment. Just one moment.
I would be like how to make like extra money. Tilosis
Sorry.
US gross.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Just one moment. Just one moment.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so please, Blessing, please ask your question.
Okay,
Hi,
hello, good
Blessing.
morning, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, I wanted to make inquiries. What about my company runs two sectors, and in the creative sector, we make we make footwears, but it's in the is like but we do so I'm just trying to make what if all you just have you haven't really generated like profit, but you do have users of the products like tested users who have used your footwears and all that. So how do you do the financial forecast or traction? Now you have users, like they pay you for their materials, you make it and they wear it. You get, so how do you put it in your pitch deck? Like it's a new startup.
The new business. Okay, so this is it. This is it. You mentioned two things. And what you mentioned are mutually exclusive things. You said financial forecast and traction, right? Financial forecast is just saying, look, your financial forecast is a financial model that says, okay, based on how my business operates, based on how I make money, and based on how many customers I have access to, and how many customers that I hope to acquire, this is how much money I'm likely to make within the next 5 years, right? But for traction is just telling the investor that this is how much progress I've made so far. That in total, 100 people have come to buy my shoes or to make shoes from me, right? So you just say 100 shoes made or 100 customers. So in your traction, you just write 100, then under it, you just write number of customers. Then you can now say, as part of your traction, you can say it takes us 5 business days or 10 business days to make a single shoe. And we have a staff of 3. So which means in 10 business days, we can only make 3 shoes. And one of the reasons we are getting investment is that we want to increase the number or our productivity or our output such that we can make 10, 15, 20, 30 shoes every 10 business days. And having more machines, having more hands will help us achieve that. Also, we need to do a little bit of marketing. So all that can be captured in your business model. So in your traction, what you just write is 100 customers. It takes 10 business days to make a single shoe, right? Or it takes 10 business days to make 3 shoes, depending on how you do your stuff. Then your business model is still B2C, is direct to customer. You are not yet sewing for other businesses. You are not doing a subscription model, right? And so on and so on and so forth. Has that been able to clarify that?
Yes, sir. So that means I don't have to in the revenue in the financial forecast. I'll just put financial forecast. I won't put revenues end. Should I overlook that?
Oh
Because
yeah, oh yeah, calm down. Wait, calm down, Blessing. Wait. Don't say financial forecast. We are still talking about traction. So you say, I have served 100 customers, and it takes me 10 business days to make 3 shoes. And then the third thing you can put is that the total money I have made so far by serving 100 customers is $1,000, for instance, right? Which means my shoes probably cost $10 a pair. So your business model can now say B2C, for this type of shoes, we make it for $10 a pair or $30. Sorry, I'm using dollars. The reason I'm using dollars is that sometimes you are very fortunate to have investors who are not Nigerians and they don't understand the naira situation. So it's easier for you to speak to them in dollar terms or pounds or euros. But if you are sure the person is a Nigerian investor, that's if you are targeting investors, then speak in naira, please, because most likely they would give you the money in naira. But if it's a foreign person, they might give you in a foreign currency. So, Blessing, let's talk again. Please ask that. Have I been able to address that? You just need to capture what you have done so far. You cannot really put a financial forecast within your pitch deck, because a financial forecast, which is your financial model, is very, very, very detailed, and it makes a lot of assumptions. There is no financial model I've not seen that will not turn profitable in 3 years or 5 years. You can ask any investor here. That's why you find out that some investors don't ask you for your financial model until maybe your product has achieved something they call product market fit, which means that with the little money they've given you, you've been able to confirm there is there is a consistent demand for the product or the service that you're offering. Then they can now say, okay, based on this, let's now do a financial forecast. So save your money on doing financial forecast. Ensure that you have people who are interested in your product and are willing to pay for that product, right? And so all you can do so far right now is to show them that this is how you make money and this is how you have made money in the past. That is what your traction means. Traction is looking at the progress of the business in retrospect. Financial forecast is looking at the progress that the business will make in future terms. Have I been able to help?
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, who has another question? Okay, okay. I think what we're even going to do is that we are going to together create a pitch deck, right? I think maybe that's what we're going to do to make it interesting, right? Okay. So let me just go to the next thing, the next presentation. Can everyone still see my screen? The name of the company is Haul the Way. It's a logistics company that is trying to raise money to, do stuff in the logistic industry. So please, I want you to confirm that you can see my screen so that you can still see my screen rather, so that we can go ahead, do that, and probably just try to do a very quick example.
Yes, I can see the screen. I can see your screen.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All right. Good. All right. So the problem that these guys are trying to solve is that there's a huge supply, deficit of haulage trucks in Nigeria. Very simple, straight to the point problem, right? And so they try to also qualify that problem by providing a little bit, more context, right? And that's what your market validation does. It also provides context to the problem. It shows, oh, this is how big the problem is. This is how much people need that problem to be solved. Here, in the problems section, you can also put a little bit of text. So, and what they were trying to say here is that people find it very expensive to rent or to lease a haulage truck, 20-ton truck, 30, all those trucks that you see that carry sand, granite for construction site, or even carry items for fast-moving consumer goods company like Nestle, Cadbury, Unilever, and all that, right? So it's very expensive for them to lease it, and it's difficult to monitor in real time. What that means is, they're trying to, because the investor that they were trying to reach out to understood or understands the logistics industry. Right. And what that simply means is that they know that, sometimes the drivers or the trucks might have issues on the way. That's even the ones that they even paid for, and so on and so forth. Right. So they were trying to just show that, look, there's a huge problem, or there's a huge supply deficit of haulage trucks in Nigeria. So the market opportunity, and this they got from research, and so they just summarize it into one thing, that the value of the Nigerian logistic industry is 6 billion. So many investors like to look for companies or to invest in companies, and it's not true for all investors, but for quite a handful of investors, they prefer to invest in companies where the market is large, that is the volume of transactions within that market. Remember the Mile 12 example? I told you that a market is simply a place or an event where transactions occur consistently around a product or a service. So that's why you can have the food market, you can have the electronic market, you can have the oil market, now we have the logistics market, which is what I'm showing here, right? So and the total volume of transactions that happen in this market is about 6 billion per annum, right? And so remember to always quote your sources. Do your research online. And like I said, this is a top-bottom approach, which means that we want to get data online. That's a market research, Statista, TechCrunch, all these guys, and we crunched it and said, okay, you know what? Let's just summarize it into one figure, which is what 6 billion. And then when you're presenting to the investor, after 3 minutes, the investor can come back and ask you that, this 6 billion, what do you mean by it? Then because you have done your own reading already, you've done your research, then you can begin to explain that, okay, the mobility sector, the logistics sector for Okada is different from the logistics sector from haulage. So it was all that we combined together. But for haulage, this is it, and so on and so forth, right? So then there's something called the bottom-up approach. The bottom-up approach, it just means that you take yourself as an example, your business as an example. For instance, Blessing makes shoes, right? And she says, oh, I can make shoes for 10 people in a month. That's my serviceable, obtainable market, right? But if I get investment, I'll be able to increase my sum, my SOM, my serviceable, obtainable market to 100 shoes in a month, right? And which means in a year, I'm doing 1,200 shoes in a year. That's serviceable, obtainable market. That's a bottom-up approach, right? So a bottom-up approach does not really consider what every other person is doing. It just considers the fact that, look, there's a market that exists, but I'm taking it from what I've been able to achieve and what I think I can achieve if I have X number or X amount of investment. So sometimes it's good to also tell the investors who you're talking about, who you're pitching to. You need to tell them your solution and what you have done and who you are. So what they did, depending, and so like I said, my clients require slightly different things, right? So it's problem, solution, the market validation. But in this case, this is the problem, and then we gave context to that problem by providing the size of the problem. That's the size of the market, $6 billion, right? And now we are showing how the company solves it in one paragraph of literature. So we are saying we are a mobility haulage company that seeks to bridge the supply deficit gap of haulage trucks through key partnerships with truck owners while building their fleet. In other words, what they are saying is they match truck owners to people who need to make haulage, who need haulage services. So if Unilever needs to move products from their plants to a depot, they need access to haulage drivers. All the way knows these drivers, and these drivers, on the other hand, need their trucks to always be on the road so that they can make money, right? So all the way is the bridge between the likes of Unilever or Lafarge and the haulage drivers. You see that? So the team, you need to show that, look, you're the man or you're the woman in this case for the job. And apparently they're both, they're married, they're husbands and wives, their husband and wife, or their wife and husband. Tony Obasa is the co-founder and the CEO. She has 6 years as a legal and management person at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Toba has over 8 years of project management experience and is a CEO. So that alone shows the investors that, oh, these guys are not babies. If I give them money, they can handle the money well, right? So you need to blow your trumpets. You see, when I was going to do the presentation to you guys, they blew my trumpet small, right? So do that for yourself. So you can even put your education. Oh, I have a BSc in this. Even if it's HND, put it there. Even if it's College of Education, put it there. Let them know that you are educated, right? So you put your name. Let's say your name is Jane Harper, for instance. No, let's use a Nigerian name. Let's say your name is Blessing Abubakar, for instance, right? So you say Blessing Abubakar, co-founder or founder, if you are the only person who founded the company, founder and CEO of Blessing. See that you need to show that, look, I'm not a baby. I have done this thing before. I can do it. And I have done this for this person. I've made 1,000 shoes, or maybe 100 shoes, or 20 shoes. Just write it there, right? Then your business model. This is how we make our money. We are a B2B business model, so we do dry and wet logistics, haulage. You don't need to know what dry and wet means because it's for their business. They aggregate trucks and drivers, logistics consultant, and so on and so forth. Our USP, which is our unique selling point, is the fact that we do real-time tracking through our vehicle monitoring system, which other logistic companies do not have, which means that Unilever can track in real time per second where their trucks are and how far their trucks are from the destination, how far their goods are from the destination. And the attraction so far, they have 12 trips from this company's monthly. They've completed over 70 trips, and they've done about $13,000, opportunity revenue with 15% month-on-month growth. So they're trying to raise $350,000 for 10% of the business, which values the company at, okay, I don't know. Is it cool for me to go into what valuation means? Would it be too much of an information? Do you think it will serve its purpose? I don't know who I'm asking this question.
Yes, you can. From the chat box. Yes, you can.
Okay, sorry, I'm reading here. Is there an issue with is there background noise that you're hearing that's coming from my end?
Yeah, I think you probably are standing next to a fan.
Oh, okay, sorry, one moment. They took the light. Oh, all right. I hope it's better now.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay. So valuation is an art and a science. So people who do people who would help you do a financial model, usually when your business is maturing, they will take what your business has done and project what your business could be. And based on the value of transactions your business is doing, has done, and could do, they will give your business an idea of its monetary value in the market. Sorry for that long definition. What I'm trying to say here is this. When you hear that a business just raised one money like that at XYZ valuation, that valuation, there is a science behind it. But many times, companies who are in their very nascent stage, where they are raising like pre-seed or even just getting angel rounds of investment, it's hard for you to, many of them do not have enough traction for them to have empirical data that says, okay, this is now the value of the company. So there are, and so if you do a little bit of financial, for people who might have an idea of accounting, who are here, you might have heard of DCF. Sorry, can everyone hear me? Right. So you might have heard people say things like discounted cash flow valuation. People. Sorry. Hello.
Sorry about that.
Can you? Okay. So you might hear people say things, discounted. That's for people who have an accounting background, like a discounted cash flow valuation. People might do like a waterfall analysis. Those are too technical. And many times a startup founder does not really know all that. See, this is what I can do. I love this business. I can make money from this business. I've been making some money. Just give me money and let me get my business done. However, as a startup founder or a business owner, you need to understand that your business has value and it ultimately affects the gross domestic product of the country that you're operating in. For usually hope, and if your business is successful, that GDP it will net as positive for the GDP, as it were, right? However, valuation is also an art, where you are, and that's why you need to understand the market. That's why we do market research. Like if you see, I quoted 6 billion, I quoted this, I quoted that. So one of the ways startup founders or business owners also arrive at their valuation as an art or even a science is that they look at what their competitors are doing and check that when these competitors were in pre-seed, they raised X amount of money, and they were valued at this. Right. But now I'm not raising as much money as they're trying to raise. If I deduce based on what they raise and I superimpose it to mine or translate it to my own thing, I can arrive at a figure. Right. So I would explain, I'll also provide more context. Right. And I'll also give you a shortcut. This shortcut, everybody learned it pretty much from Shark Tank. I don't know who has seen Shark Tank. Shark Tank, Dragon's Den. They arrived at a you can check. It's a TV series of celebrity investors who put money in very daring entrepreneurs. Shark Tank, for people who haven't heard. So you could just check YouTube and just type Shark Tank, and you just see how and use their you can since you guys have a pitch next week Tuesday and Wednesday, you can just go on YouTube, Google Shark Tank, look at how, and usually their presentation is 1 to 3 minutes. Look at how they present. They put, this is their solution, this is the problem they are solving, this is the solution, and this is how they make money, and this is how much money and how much progress they've made, and this is how much they need to ask. Those are the 4 major things they talk about. Many times they don't even talk about the market validation just because they want to save time, right? But as the investors are asking you questions, then you can begin to provide more context. You see that, right? So you can go after this class, you could just go on YouTube, just type Shark Tank and just listen in. watch, see how these guys are, and that way you can do your pitch practice based on what you've seen, right? Okay, so back to valuation. If you check the different styles of financial analysis, how they value companies, primarily with discounted cash flow methods, there is a shortcut, right? All you have to do is the money you are looking for to grow your business, divide it by the amount of equity you are willing to give, right? That will give you the valuation. So I'll type it out. Cash investment divided by equity equals valuation. Investment divided by equity equals valuation. And there are two kinds of valuation. There is something called pre-money and post-money. So pre-money valuation is, look, this is based on all the money that I've put into the business myself, the equity that I've probably given out, the investment, this is the value of the company right now. So before you give me money, my company is worth $1 million or $1 million. But by the time you give me money, right, that's after you have given me money, the company is now $1 million, maybe plus 500K or plus 100K. That's the value of the business after you have given me money, is what they call post-money valuation. It's just semantics, right? So usually investors will prefer you to give them a post-money valuation, but the calculation is still the same, right? So investment divided by equity. So let's say you are trying to raise $10,000, right? $10,000 divided, and you can't see what I typed. Oh, I wasn't typing on the screen. Okay, you know what? Just one moment. Let me put it into presentation so everyone can see here. It's just going to take some doing. Just one moment. Investment Oh, okay. Look at these guys. Now they are trying to give. They need $350,000, right? And they want to give 10% equity. I'll tell you how they arrived at the 10% equity, right? Just one moment. I'll tell you how they arrived at the 10% equity. So if you divide $350,000 by 10%, sorry, you will need to do a little bit of math, right? But it's just very simple math. 10% is also 0.1, right? That's 10 over 100, right? Is 0.1. So you are dividing $350,000 by 0.1. That should give, I think, 3.5 in it. Yeah, that should give about $3.5 million. Abi? Yeah. So what you are telling the investor is that their company is valued at, or that you are telling them that, look, I'm valuing my company at $3.5 million. So I just shared it here now. Can you see this screen? So $350,000 divided by 10%. That $350,000 divided by 0.1. 10% of your business is 0.1 of 1, right? So 10% is 10 divided by, if you want to get the numeric value of 10%, all you have to do is divide 10% by 100%. That gives you 0.1. Then you now take that 0.1 and plug it into this. So it will be $350,000 divided by 0.1, which brings the value of the company to 3.5 million. But you just tell them it's post money, meaning that, look, even by the time you add your 350K with this calculation, the value of the company is $3.5 million. So let's say you are doing, conversely, if you are doing, say, $10,000, right? You are just telling the investor that you are valuing your company at $100,000. That's a. But now, because remember I said that valuation is also an art. Now, I want you to be very careful, because what startup founders are likely to do is, we want to get as much money as we need, but we want to give as little equity as we can. Conversely, you have investors who want to give you, as much money as they can afford, but for as much equity as possible. So that's where your negotiation comes into play. And you can only negotiate properly when you have proven that your business can work, you have some good traction, and this is what actually obtains in the market. So usually you will not be the only person competing in this industry. There are others, for instance, Blessing has other shoemakers, right? People who make shoes very, just probably just as nice as she does, but maybe she has an edge. Maybe she's able to make shoes faster and with the same quality, and maybe even a bit more affordable, right? And because of her turnaround time and her turnaround time and affordability, that gives her a competitive advantage. And pairing what she is doing with what other people have done, these people also raised money, $10,000 or $100,000, right? She can say, oh, if this person raised $10,000 and I'm cheaper than this person, I can raise the same $10,000 for the same 10% equity. So that's why I said it's an art. So many times it's just about observing what applies in your industry. But some of the mistake that startup founders make is that they now tell an investor that, look, I'm giving you $100,000. I've not done any traction. I don't have any traction. No, I've not made any progress, but sir, I can only give you 1% equity of my business because I don't want to share, but I want your money. No investor is going to take you seriously. They'll just throw your stuff away because it doesn't make sense. Because $100,000 is a lot of money. Now it's 100 million naira and change. That's a lot of money, right? So at the end of the day, the art, the reason it's called an art as well is because at the end of the day, people want to arrive at a fair valuation, right? Okay, they want to have a fair valuation for their investment, right? So that brings me to the end of this class, and perhaps we can together work. I was going to show you guys a business model canvas, and stuff, but I just need to just show you how to write a pitch document, right? So let me stop sharing this, and maybe we can just take someone's idea and quickly write a pitch document. Maybe we can do that.
Thank
So
you so much, Mr. Bolo.
I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you didn't. That was a beautiful session. I
Okay,
really appreciate that. Thank you
good
for
stuff.
your
Good.
time and all of that. Okay, so
Okay.
now you said if someone can give us an idea and we write a pitch deck, was that what you said?
Yeah, we could write a pitch deck together. Let me show you something. Let me.
Hello, Kinde Farms is here.
Okay, we can create
Please
a pitch
check
deck.
your charts. You're not checking your charts.
Oh, me? Sorry. Okay, Candy Farms. Okay, we can create who wants me to create a pitch deck so that we can just see it in real time?
Yes, I wanted to create a pitch deck.
Okay. How many minutes do I have left, Mrs. or Miss Adibola?
Okay, so we have, oops, you said you have a meeting by 12.
Yeah, I do. But I can push the meeting to 12:15.
Okay, so let's say we have about 12 minutes left.
Okay, 12:15. Okay, so let me also quickly share a pitch deck of my own company, so you have an idea as well of how quickly your summary needs to be. This is a big comprehensive because there's some traction and we've done some pilot and successful So this is the problem we're solving. In Nigeria, cash is still king, but people lack the convenience of withdrawing their cash. Feather is a mobile application that matches users who need to withdraw cash on the go with merchants who have the float in real time. That's our solution, right? And this is how it works. Lexi makes a cash after she has funded her wallet, downloading the app. She automatically, she says she wants to withdraw cash. The app automatically searches for the nearest merchant and pairs her with the merchant. She sees the merchant's rate, more or less like the Uber for cash, the entire way Uber works. That's why we call it the Uber for cash. Then she can chat, call me, the merchant, and she gets her cash. The market opportunity, so we are giving the problem a context that look, there are about 16 ATMs for every 100,000 adults, which means a lot of people need to withdraw their cash, but they're having issues withdrawing their cash, right? But there are over 40 million SMEs in Nigeria. So we are turning every SME into an ATM, right? Our key revenue drivers is as simple as 1, 2, 3. We make 1% on cash withdrawals, capped at 200 naira, 2% on bill payments, and $3 on virtual cards. Post-traction pilot, we have 5,000 users. We have done $33,000 of in total payment volume. We've done 9,000 transactions. We have 4.8% on the rating stores. Our partners and investors include Decimal Africa, Hope, Paystack, Stitch, Smile Identity, VBank, and our Fire partners. Our investors are Hoke, Nubi, Coyote, and Shola of Paystack. We also have a relationship with M Copper, Babajide, Drew Shola, and Maya Hogan Famodu of Ingressive Capital. This is the founder, Bolu and Seth. This is an old pitch deck, by the way. And at the time, we're raising 500K to get 100,000 users and merchant, and that's the end. Simple. I was able to do that in about 2 minutes, right? So that's what you're going to do on Tuesday, right? You're going to have to present as quickly as possible, but it needs to be very sticky. Okay, so let us create somebody's pitch deck for them. Debola, can you pick someone for us so that they won't say that I was partial, because I know you know these people. So
Okay, so I'm going to go through the chat box and check the first person.
So I'm setting up.
Can we ask questions?
Yes, please. And please, yes. There's something I want to say. Please don't feel bad. Your pitch deck has to be very simple. Sometimes you might need to get a graphic designer to help you put it together, or a presentation designer, because you might have some graphic designers who do not know how to do presentation designs, right? And presentation design just simply means that, look, you need to put your presentation in such a way that it's easy for the investor or the stakeholder to see what you're trying to portray in a simple. So you're not trying to make it the most colorful or the essence of iconography and all that is just, to make it easier for whoever is reading it to appreciate what it is you're doing. But at the end of the day, they're still just going to read the text. All right. So make sure that your text is legible. Make sure it is big enough, especially if you're going to be projecting on a screen, whether it's a white, and usually the screens will have white background. So make sure that your texts are big enough, right, to be seen from 10, 15 meters away. And have at the back of your mind that your investors might be wearing glasses. So don't try to make it hard for them, because if they have to squint to see your deck, they might not be as interested as you're trying to get them. So that is very important as well. Okay.
So now, going through the chat box, we'll be checking the first person
can we do it this way? Does anybody already have a pitch deck that we can take a look at?
Yes, I do.
So I think everybody has a pitch deck already, because they have all submitted their pitch.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, is that the link you sent? Forms Google?
No. That's for their attendance. No, that's not it. So everybody have submitted their pitch deck. So how should we do it then? Or will you just randomly look through the names in the chat box and pick a name? Hi, Mr. Bolu.
So sorry. Pardon me.
So
I was distracted. Can you
I said you should go through the chat box, look at the names, and you pick a name. So I've been familiar with the names here, and I do not want to sound partial or look partial. So you are a neutral person, so I think you should just do that yourself.
Okay. Who has a pitch deck that we can see, so that we can just say, okay, this is what you need to remove, this is what you need to add. That way it's faster. That way I can cycle through 2, 3 pitch decks instead of having to create one.
I do.
Okay, is it on like a Google link that we can take a look at?
Mine is.
Okay.
I can share it.
Okay, so whoever you are, I'm so sorry. I can't see. I'm just in like a lot of people here, so I can't see who exactly is who. But if you are here, Debola, please could you maybe give the person access to share their screen? And then someone says my pitch deck needs renovation. Okay. Please let's see.
Who
even
is
if
that?
if your pitch deck is a video pitch, it still needs to be in a document, right? It still needs to be in a document, please. Look, it doesn't have to be 10 slides. It can be 5 slides, Remember, your pitch deck just needs to show the problem that you're solving, your solution to that problem, and you need to prove that there is a demand for that problem and how much progress you have made so far. And then finally, it needs to show that, look, I am the right woman for this job if you give me money to continue or to grow my business, right? Please, if you have like a link to your picture, can you just put it here so I can open it and share for everyone so we can take a look at it together, please? Just so that I can go.
I think at this point, you're going to do the fastest finger. The first person to drop our pitch deck on the chat box gets it.
Good, fantastic. Just drop the link so that we can look at it.
The link to your pitch deck in the chat box. And the one we get first, we move on with that.
Fantastic. Good.
So we are waiting. I think we have a winner already. Kuforola Awoyera.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Please okay, let me just one moment. Kuforola. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate this Zoom interface because we usually use Google Meet. Kuforola. Okay, fantastic. Gotcha. They said I need access, so please, can you just make sure that the link is just open for everyone so that I don't have to request access? I'll just go straight to Rukayat. Okay, Rukayat's one is open, so we'll look at Rukayat's pitch deck together. All right. Rukayat, did you design the pitch deck yourself or you had someone do that for you?
Hi, Rukayat. All right, Rukayat. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So myself and my co-founder designed it.
Fantastic. It looks like a pretty good design.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. I don't want you to have to see my entire Google, my Chrome. Let me stop sharing for a bit. Come in just one moment. Just one moment. So everyone, you're looking at
President.
Debola, are you the president?
No, I'm not. I think she was speaking to someone else.
Okay, all right. Okay, can everyone see Rukayat's pitch deck? Register, right? Is that how to pronounce it? Register?
Yes, we can. Yeah, register.
Register. Good. All right. So first off, she started with her vision. So let's just go through it together then. So I need to just look at everything together and then we can, because this is my first time seeing it. Rukayat, is this you?
One of our customers.
Fantastic. All right. Register. So our vision is to be the world's most essential bank for underserved market in Nigeria. So financial exclusion. So you're actually showing that this is the problem, Abi?
Yes, please.
So please, you need to tell them that this is the problem, because when I saw financial exclusion, I thought it was literature review, just showing that and all that. So, but just to make it easier for me, you just need to write. I don't know if I have editor's access, but I doubt I have. So let's see if I can make a comment here. Can I make a comment?
Yes, you can. We actually put problem, but another person will come and say, do this one, but it's fine. Probably we'll put the problem, no problem.
Okay. Can you permit me to be a little bit proud?
Okay. You can go ahead, please.
Please write problem and tell them that it was Bolo Olatunji that told you so.
No problem.
Yes. I wrote the pitch deck for Sporting Lagos and a couple of other startups that you may or may not have heard of. So put problem. Then you can put it in your own words. You can say the problem we are solving or the problem that exists. But make sure that the investor sees that there is a problem that you are trying to solve.
All right.
Right. So problem. And if anybody asks you, tell them Bolu said so, and they should come and meet me. We'll talk over it together. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Then your target market, which is
Please,
good. You
can
see,
you check mine too?
yeah, we'll check as many people's own as we can. Now, look, see, you have a target market. That's good. Now, look, let me now say something to everybody here. Look, everybody, look, for my company and the companies that I've worked with, you might have like 5, 10 different iterations of your pitch deck. Especially if an investor calls you up and says, Bolu, send me a pitch deck now. I need you. But you already know the type of investor, you know what they want to hear, or you have an idea of what they want to see. So you might need to quickly re-edit your pitch deck to send to that person. That person might only want 3 pages.
What kind of price?
So what did you say? Please, sorry, if you're not talking, please mute your mic, please. Right. So once you see an investor that that probably you have had 1 or 2 conversations with, that's if you're not doing because I'm teaching you beyond your pitch practice for next week. You would have, in fact, you might have a document that has 50 pages, 50 slides. But obviously, your investor cannot see 50 slides. It's unnecessary for them to see 50 slides. Give them 3 slides. That's if the person asks for 3. Sometimes they would specify, I don't want anything more than 10 slides, which is usually common practice. 10 slides, which is why if you look at what I was presenting to you, none of them exceeded 10 slides, right? Which should cover most of the things. Then if they now want more information, then you can. Some investors might even be very, very thorough and ask for a business plan. But guess what? If you have a pitch deck, you can develop it into a business plan. And if you have a business plan, please develop it into a pitch deck, right? So let's go to target market. So good. So there are 790 million people who do not have access to financial services in Africa, right? So please make sure you include the link. I was trying to write a comment here, but it's really, I can't, I need to request, I need edit access. I'll have, written the comment here for you, but you need to put the sources. Where did you get this information from that there are 790 million people?
Is included, IFC.
But you need to also put it as a source, because I can only see that 20% of people have access to loan. Is it 20% of 790 million? Because here you put 600 million. So it's a big, so confusing. So feel free to write it out and say 20% of Africans or 20% of these 790 million people only have access to loans, because it's a bit confusing. I'm seeing 600 million. I'm seeing 20%. So sometimes I don't know what you're trying to say. And please bear at the back of your mind that sometimes your pitch deck will get to your investor before you get to your investor. Meaning that someone can just see your pitch deck online. Maybe you sent it to someone's email and the person shared it to 5 of their friends. So your investors might get to meet your pitch deck before they get to meet you. So you need to make sure that whatever it is, it can explain itself. That's why I said, please put your sources, ensure that your target market is so projected annual revenue of what, right? We don't know what you're trying to say. Growth rate for 2021, growth rate from 2018 to 2022. Are you saying that there'll be more people or the rate at which people have been financially excluded is increasing, right? So try not to put too much data that might put you into trouble, because I'm having an issue like what you said now. 790 million people have no access to financial services. Bam! Like you just slammed it. It makes a lot of sense to me, right? But the many 3 things you put down here made it a bit confusing. I know that you were trying to qualify that problem or that, the issue, right? But it's difficult for me to understand. But once you put 790 million people, but since your operation is in Nigeria, I would prefer you actually put a data for Nigeria. So after you put 790 million people have no access to Africa, then you put the next thing. 100 million people don't have access to financial services in Nigeria. Well,
all right. Okay, sir. Can I say something so that you can also correct?
Yes, please.
All right. The 790 million is actually individual, while the 600 is the micro businesses, according to IFC in 2023.
And yes, that's why I said that you did not put it here. Like I said, your investors might get to meet your pitch deck before they get to meet you. Okay. So make sure that when you are presenting it, write it out. You didn't write, you only wrote 20% access to loan. So write that 600 million business, to only 20% of the 600 million SMEs have access to loan. Bam. Now I understand it. But you only wrote access to loan. I don't know 20% of what, 20% of who, and all that. So please make sure you write it down. And please, since you're operating in Nigeria, translate it to Nigeria, right? Because the money they will give you, no matter how much money for this stage, will not serve Africa. You won't be registered, will not enter Africa this year.
Okay. And the reason is because we pitch to investors who are not just in Nigeria, but also interested in.
Wait, I'm coming before you say something. Yes, invest is good. You gave them a picture. That's why I said that it was good you gave them a picture of Africa, but you also need to give them a picture of your operating base, which is Nigeria. Because because you can't make them assume that if they give you $200,000, for instance, you will now start operating in the whole 54 African countries. Nobody will take you seriously. Even you too, if you think about it, if they give you 200K, how much is the cost of moving to 2 countries? Not to talk. So you need to let them know what the picture is in Nigeria as well. Somebody was going to say something. Please, can you say something?
Yes, sorry. I wanted to ask that, is it possible for you to kind of go through the pitch deck and then the person that you're going over their pitch deck take notes so that we all get the opportunity to ask questions towards the end? Because I feel like if you're going back and forth, you might not be able to get to more people, especially since you have a meeting coming up soon.
Thank you very much. Brilliant idea. Thank you. Super grateful for that. All right, then your solution. All right, inclusive, affordable, speed, accessible, bookkeeping. This looks like features. It does not look like a solution. So you just put the features of your product or the attributes of what it is you are doing, but you did not actually define what your solution is doing. So you need to find a 1 sentence or at most a 2 sentence definition. So you say we are building an inclusive, affordable, fast, accessible bookkeeping. Just find a 1 sentence definition for your platform. Now you're showing that, now this is good. You're showing that these are the features. Digital wallets, so they can do their savings, they can do their loans. There's a bookkeeping stuff and it's available on the Google Store, on the Google Play Store and USSD, this is good. But you need to label, you need to title this, say, features or user journey or product outlook. Let them know that that's what they're looking at, right? That they're looking at the product. Don't assume that like I said, your investor is very busy. They just need to see, okay, this is what this page is talking about, and I can see what it is talking about. So label it appropriately, please. Your platform has an agent, sign up and get verified. So you might need to divide this slide into 2, or take this agent and put it into this place and just show that there's an agent, that you have agents or something, because this is not a platform. You should label it as business model, that this is how we make money. We make 2% premium on loans that are disbursed, and we charge $1 on every new customer onboarded. So it's a bit confusing when you just say platform and then I'm seeing agent, I'm seeing commission, right? So please make sure you title it appropriately as business model or revenue model or how we make money, right? How we make money. 2% on loans disbursed and 1% on every new customer onboarded. Credit process. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay. Revenue model. Okay, now this is it. Your platform. You might need to even delete that entirely since you already have revenue model. So interest rate 5%, monthly processing fee, and transactional fees. Okay. Partnership and awards, really good. So it shows that you have that you're credible, right? That you have partnered, you have partnership. And please don't just name drop people. Your investors would do due diligence and ask you to prove that you have a partnership with Wema Bank, for instance. They will tell you, do you have a document where you do? So if you have only one document, yes, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just trying to make sure that your bases are well covered, that you are safe. That's what I'm trying to do. So just make sure that this partnership with ARM, Optimal, Identity Central, Wema Bank, that you have at least some sort of document or an email that you can point to in case an investor will ask you, because at some point they want to see something they call a data room, where they have access to all that. Then it's good you have this awards. Then these awards, if they were published on the internet, put the links here so that they can click on the link and read it for themselves online, instead of them, because if they say Africa FinTech Foundry, okay. So if you have a link, just copy the link, put it here so that they can click and wow, Register is doing really well. Oh, that's nice. They're interested. Okay. So traction from August, $400,000. Okay, sorry, from 2018, $160,000, $80,000. What does that mean? Does that mean that, okay, you've raised $130,000? Okay, transaction volume, you've done $1 million. Oh, that's cool. Revenue, you've made 130. Beautiful. Active customers, 3,200 customers. Wonderful, right? So then you show the user journey. But please, you might need to qualify. You know, when you have 2020, 2021, 2022, this $106,000, was it amounts disbursed? Was it revenue generated? You know, so you need to just, you know, in brackets, you just write it there, right? Then 305 and all that. Our customers choose us. So this is your competitive advantage. I like that. Our customers choose us, but in bracket, just put our competitive advantage so that they know exactly what this slide is trying to define. So you are very innovative and you cater to the informal economy as opposed to other people who cater to the formal or formal economy and conventional businesses. That's good. You guys focus on micro businesses with $5, 5 to 3. Okay, cool. Affordable, quick, cool. You do AI, ML. Sometimes you just make sure that your AI and your machine learning thingy, you have proof to back it, because at some point, once your investor is very interested, they will call you up and ask you, okay, how do you use AI? And you better be able to answer. Competitive analysis. Oh, you just put that here, so you don't need to repeat it twice. You are repeating. I noticed that 2-3 of your slides, you have repeated stuff. So pick something to pick one of the slides, right? You don't have to put everything. Founders, good. You have 3 founders. Cool, very good. If you are presenting this on a projector, you might need to increase this well so that they can see it from far, right? Because I can see it because I'm looking at my screen, or I might be looking at my phone. But at some point, if you are presenting it large, it might be difficult. Our executive team, sister, pick a struggle, right? Just pick one slide again. Product roadmap is not necessary for your pitch deck. Financial progression is not really necessary. Fundraising, next step, you're looking to raise 500K in funds with 12 months runway to generate 4 million in revenue, 500 revenue. Good, this is good. Okay, your guys and ARM, beautiful. This is fine. I think your presentation is too long. Try to summarize it to 10 slides. Don't delete this one, no, keep it somewhere. But when you are trying to present to an investor, 10 slides is enough. And the 10 slides should cover, don't put your vision. Put, this is the problem you are solving. This is the number 2. This is the value of the market. This is your solution. This is what your product looks like. That's number 5. Then go to your business model. Your number 6 is how you make money. Then number 7, you can throw this. Number 8, put your traction. Number 9, you can put your competitive advantage. Number 10, you put your team, right? Then if you can sneak in one more slide, then you say, this is how much we are trying to raise. That's all. Have I been able to help? Next person.
You can use mine now. I've opened the link, the access.
That's COHORT, right?
Yes.
The farms.
Okay, well, I'll try and get to everybody. I know that my time is, I still need access. It's still telling me I need access. I'm coming. Let me see. Where's COHORT? Where is COHORT? Where is COHORT? COHORT is still asking me to, so let me just go to the next person.
While you are looking for COHORT, someone asked a question in the chat box. She said,
yes,
if where's that question? I'm trying to get it. What if we are trying to solve? Someone asked that question. If you know you asked that question, please go ahead and ask. I'm trying to look for the question. What if you are trying
So that was
to
me.
solve a desire,
What if
not
it's not
a problem?
yes, not a problem.
Sorry?
So
most times
okay, go ahead and ask the question.
Most times you're asking for the problem and the solution on the pitch deck. And sometimes what we are offering is not necessarily a problem. We're not necessarily solving a problem. It's more a desire.
Sorry, please, can you introduce yourself? I need to know who is talking and what their question really is.
Okay, so my name is Elizabeth. I'm the founder of Marbon Custom and Retail. We do everyday fashion that allows our customers to, customize our collections, according to their preference, their personality or branding. So most in the past when I've done pitch decks, I can't really, I'm usually found wanting around the problem. How is this a problem? Because it's more, when you buy luxury, it's more Yeah, it's more a want and not a need. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which means your business is a niche business. It's not mass market,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
Good.
exactly.
But still, you still need to be able to put it into a sentence,
Okay.
right? You could say, I'm just thinking on the fly. What I'm saying might not make sense. Steve Jobs said something. He said, "Our customers do not know what they want until we show them." Right. So you can play that into your desire and then just quote Steve Jobs, for instance, right? But you need to be able to put it into a sentence, right? That way people understand. Look, even if it's just a desire, you need to show that it's a problem that you can solve. And you need to find a way. So you would, and that's why you need to keep pitching. You need to pitch to your friends, pitch to your spouses, pitch to your friends and families, and even other investors. Many investors will tell you no. And it's not because they don't like you, it's because probably they don't understand the problem. But as you keep hearing a lot of no's, at some point it will distill in such a way that you know how to define that problem. Do you understand? So please define it, even if it's a desire, put it, make it, especially if you're looking for money. If you don't need money for investment, and you can't call it a problem because it shows. But if it is a desire, write it in such a way that it looks like a problem, so that investor says, "Oh, this is what you're trying." Because people will give you money to help solve other people's problems. So if somebody has a desire and the person cannot get a hold of that desire, then it's a problem for that person, right? So show what that problem is, that luxury goods are out of reach, or luxury goods are too expensive. Well, that's why they call them luxury, and so on and so forth. And then you put it into a statement or a sentence, and then you say, okay, this is how we are solving it, and then go on and go on. And then you say, oh, give me your money, and then they give you their money, right? All right.
Yeah.
So can everybody see?
You.
You're welcome, Elizabeth. Can everyone see this? This is intensive feedlot
My
system.
opening, no, I've sent another one.
Okay, don't worry, relax. We'll get to you. Can everyone see my screen right now? That's an intensive feedlot. That's Kende Farms. Can everyone see that?
Yes, we can say it.
Okay, all right. So first, I'm just going to scroll. I'm just going to scroll through, and then talk about it. Da 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 da. Da. Okay, simple. First off, your presentation is too wordy. There's too much literature, right? I like the fact that you put pictures to show that, look, you're trying to focus, because I see a lot of cattle here. So it shows me that, okay, this is a cattle-based kind of like business. You might have other things like maybe goat and stuff, but it looks like you're focusing a lot on cattle, right? So which is good. I can see that, but I can see a lot of text, right? There's too much text. But let's start with your problem. Malnourished cattle are sold for dirty, crowdy, in a crowded and so on. This is bad customer experience. Okay. So just this is fine. This particular malnourished cattle are sold. So if I were you, I would just highlight poor customer experience in purchasing cattle. That's one. That's the problem you're solving. One of the problems you're solving. You can solve 2-3 problems at the same time. That you're solving the poor customer experience. Please take note, because I might not be able to say what I just said a few sentences ago, because I'm trying to think as fast as I'm seeing the pitch deck, right? So we're solving poor customer experience in cattle purchase, right? And we are helping we're helping customers, and then malnourished cattle are usually sold, right? So poor customer experience in purchasing of cattle. So in bracket is dirty, crowded, unsafe. And then number 2, there are a lot of sales, or there's sales of poorly groomed or poorly groomed or maintained cattle, right? So malnourished cattle. Thank you. Right. So you might not need to put all this injections like leisure, Dakota, but it's fine if you leave it there. It's good. It's not too wordy, but it's fine. But you just need to highlight. You need to highlight that this is the problem statement. That's the one on the left. This is this one. This malnourished cattle thing. This is the real problem. Then this is just a feature of the problem. This is what a malnourished cattle would look like, and all that. So that they are not reading the features and still cannot understand the problem you are solving. Do you understand? So highlight this or make this bold so that they know that this is exactly what you're trying to solve. Right? Poor customer experience in cattle purchase, and then the cattle are malnourished. So your solution, this one, can the farm solve this? There's no need. Okay, can this farm solve this? And the problem is solving a solution that there's low price. Okay, so first, you did not address your solution of poor customer experience, and you also did not you did not really highlight. Yes, you said quality of our production, which is quality of our cattle, right? But you didn't really show that our cattle are very healthy, because you are doing a product and a service-based business. So your product is cattle, and then you are doing and then you're saying that there's online, which means that you do deliveries too, or which implies that you do deliveries. So that's a service as well, right? So you need to put it there that, look, we sell very healthy cattle. We groom and sell healthy cattle, and our channels are we have walk-in stores, or we have a walk-in abattoir where people can come pick their cattle. We slaughter them for them, we package it for them. Good. And we do online delivery, right? So you need to put it there that's your solution, right? Or that, which means that you have a platform, or maybe you are riding on other people's platforms, like maybe Gigi, Jumia, and all that. So please reduce the wording so that they are not reading about you, but they are reading about your solution. Do you understand? Then your team, Miss Kende, founder, So you can just write it in bullet points. Kende, sorry, I don't want to call your surname so that I don't mess it up. Then under it, you write founder, CEO of Kende Farms. Then next, you write certified integrated farmer. Then all this other one about the experience, you don't need to put it there. Then you can just write half a decade of experience. Don't write 5 years, write half a decade. Half a decade sounds a bit more grandiose. It has a little bit of oomph, like a little bit of, you understand what I'm saying? It's better to say 1 decade than say 10 years. It's a bit more, the difference is the same essentially, but the presentation matters a lot, right? So more than half a decade of experience. So 4 lines. So make it that simple. When the investors start talking to you, then you can say, 2021, we had this issue, we had that issue. Then you can start telling the story of your life. But like I said, the investors will meet your pitch deck before they meet you. So it has to be very brief. Same thing you do for Mr. Fatai. He has over 1.5 decades of experience, is our operations manager. That's all. Ms. Oreolua, marketing manager, 5 years of experience. Bam, that's all you need to put. You don't need to put all these other things. So our product, beautiful. So you sell 2 major types of cows, Sokoto Gudali and Adamawa Gudali. Amazing. And then you can put some, their well-fed and wholesome cows. Okay, that's fine. It's cool. You might want to put some, okay, that's probably for another day. Then consultation, the industry. Okay. Okay. So you don't need to put too much data. It's good that you put in the market industry of cattle in Nigeria, and please make sure that you have your links, put your links where you got this information from, so that the investor does not think that you just cooked it up, right? For instance, I did not know that the cattle industry in Nigeria was $33 billion. Wow, I did not know that. But I need to read it somewhere too, so that I'm sure that you didn't cook it up, because it looks a lot to me, right? And I need to be sure, is it $33 billion or is it 33 billion? Because I can see you using dollars and naira. So stick to a particular unit so that they don't think you made a mistake, right? Because I saw dollar in only one place, and every other thing I saw it in naira. So I might assume that you meant to say naira, but you put dollar. So stick to a particular unit. If it's dollars you're using, use only dollars. If it's naira, use only naira. And then please include your link, right? All the links where you got, $33 billion Nigeria annually. Where did you get it from? 304 billion Lagos, where did you get it from? Right? Do you understand? Right? And since you kept putting Lagos and Ogun, it means it implies that your business, it implies that you get your cows from the north, but you sell in Lagos and Ogun. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. In Lagos and Ogun, I sell in well.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I'm just trying to show you. I'm just trying to tell you what your pitch deck implies. So you might want to write it somewhere that we get our supplies from the north and we sell southwest. Good, right? Then target market, we target. You've put target market in 2 places. So what I would advise you is put the industry, which is this. Then this target market remove it and just come and put it here. So your target market in bracket, you can write user class, or who this is. These are our customers: caterers, the middle class, urban elite, cow sharing. That middle class and urban elite, it's a bit vague to me, right? What do you mean by middle class? What do you mean? Now, people understand the economic importance of what a middle class person might be, but it means different things to different people with respect to how much money they have to spend and where they live. So, but when you say caterers, restaurants, it makes a lot of sense. Then your product features is that people can actually share cows. So I don't know if you have this, but you can add it as one of your things, that on your site, if you have a website or a platform where people can order cows, you can say, oh, I want to order half a cow or a quarter. Then I can see other people that I don't know from anywhere who have actually ordered the remaining 3/4 of the cow. And then I pull in my funds, and then it tells me, okay, wait till the other 4 people. Once it's done, then everything is done, just so that I don't minimize it. So it just looks really nice for the internet experience of things, as it were. But I think it will look nice if there's a meat sharing service on the internet that was created by Candy Farms. I think it's a very nice product if you can come up with it, right? So your target market is restaurants, people of certain demographic, which is middle class and urban elite. So you might need to make it slightly less vague, right? You don't need to put, meet the ethical standard of animal welfare. If you're going to put it in bracket, put it somewhere down so that it's not conflicting. In graphic design, there's something called visual hierarchy. It means that there are certain things that your eyes will naturally gravitate to before they gravitate to the other. So what I'm saying is, the first thing I see when I look at this slide is that I see the 2 pictures, red meat and Owambe, right? The next thing I'm seeing is target market, because that's a bigger text. Next thing I'm seeing is caterers. And so make sure that you are doing it in such a way that it's easier for the investor to read through your document. So justify your text to the left properly. If you're going to centralize it properly. Hyphenate where you need to. This your target market. Please, they choose this and this because of us. I think you should put it into the competition slide or competitive advantage slide, not your target market, right? Then competition. Our competitors are other cattle buying businesses, and so what you might want to do is you might want to just put a few. You might want to name drop, put their names. Blessing Cattle Farms, Elizabeth's Cattle Ranch, and Debola Farms and Spices. Just so that the investors know that, oh, you are aware of other people's businesses, right? Then our competitive advantage is, please put it in bullet points. Don't write your pitch deck in literature, except for your problem statement and your solution. Most of every other thing should be in bullet points, right? So the title of your slide should be competitive advantage. Focus on high quality feed program, and animal welfare, then security, then better customer experience. 4 things, right? Validation and traction. Like I said, no literature. Don't write when you started and all that. Just say 2015 revenue generated. Okay. Capital investment 2015 500K. Then your traction, we didn't see anything you put in your traction. How many cows have you sold? So just say, let's just say you started in 2015, for instance. Say 2015 capital investment, $500,000, right? You can write $500,000 instead of 500K, but the difference is the same. 6.5 a dozen, the same thing. I'm just saying, right? So put it there, then say, oh, in 2016 we sold 10 cows. 2017 we sold, or just say total cows sold in the last 5 years, 1,000 cows. Total generation, total revenue in the last 5 years, 15 million. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? Or 35 million. You put it there, right? So instead of having to write literature and all that, it's a bit. It's too much for my eyes. It's too much for the investor, especially if you're presenting on it. So 3 things, right? We started capital investment, invested 500K. In the last 3 years, I've sold 100 cows. In the last 3 years, I have made 35 million. That's all. Then you can then put pictures of your award if you like, but don't do it in such a way that it's too cumbersome, right? And all that. So you can, instead of putting this, you can then have like another page of awards, or you can put this in an appendix. I've seen some pitch decks that have appendices, right? So put it at the back of your appendices where you were shaking Buhari, now you are shaking Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, all that. Wiki, your House of Assembly, everywhere you have shall be, you can put that in your appendices so that they can see all the pictures of your cattle, so that they are not distracted with, because they just really need to see what you're doing, because they are writing a pitch deck to them because you are telling them we need your help. And usually what I need is your capital, your network, and other insight into the market. That's all, right? So just put here, we have invested 500K, I've sold 100 cattle, I've made 35 million naira. Bam, that's all. Financial projection, it might not necessarily be necessary, but you can pair it with your ask that, oh, we are looking for $10,000, right? When we get this $10,000, we purchase 15 bulls. Yes, you have done that. Good. And you feed them, right? Electronic sale, fabricator shredder, capital. Then you now say, oh, this ask would yield 18 million naira in, please convert the 18 million naira to dollars, right? Convert it to, so in today's dollar rate is about $18,000, right? Which means, right? So, but so then you need to tell the investors, so you need to make it clear, are you raising money as a loan, or you're raising it for equity, right? So you need to make it clear, right? Because here your financial projection is showing return on investment. So it's almost like you're raising it as a loan, right? So make it clear to this person. Have I been able to help? I need to take another person's document. I'm already late, but I think I can push.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I have
My
mine
pleasure.
already.
Who is talking? Is that Kofo now?
No, this is Ify,
Yes, I've sent my
for
own,
nutrition for kids.
the last chat.
Okay, let me be a bit partial to Kofo because she was the first, and I tried to.
No worries.
Exactly.
I'll check Ife afterwards. Okay, I'll check Ife afterwards. So sorry, I'm speaking very fast. My mind is I have to be in other meetings. All right. So can everybody see this? Dark Cag Foods, a unique blend of nutrition and taste. Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Good. All right. So your pitch deck, and then for Kende Farms, you might need to contact a graphic designer to help you with your presentation design, just so that it's easier. It feels like you did it by yourself, and I think you did a good job at trying to highlight some of the things, but I think you put too much literature, so you need to put most of it to bullet points and probably invest a little bit in a graphic designer, right? When things are a bit more beautiful, people are inclined to spend more time, right, looking at it, right? But if it's not so beautiful, they might just want to, skim through it, right? So yes, and please, for people who are designing their pitch deck themselves, let your pitch deck breathe. All right, no pun intended. Right, let your pitch deck breathe. Put a text. Let there be a lot of. If it's black background you're using, let there be a lot of space. If it's white background, let there be a lot of space, so that the investor. Let's assume that I'm your investor, so that my eyes can catch the text that you are putting. My eyes can catch the image properly. Right. So your vision and your goals, put it as an appendix, right? It's good to show us, what you believe in and where you hope you will be, right? But put it as an appendix, it's in one of the appendices after you have done the entire presentation, right? What they want to see is the problems. Good. So the problems is logistic problem after purchasing raw materials. What type of raw materials? Though I know you said nutrition blend and taste, so please, you need to qualify it, because sometimes people will just say, okay, the name of the brand is Dark Ag, but straight, they just went to problems, right? So please, there are logistic problems after purchasing, there are logistics issues with or during the purchase of nutritional raw material items, right? For instance, so then there's an inconvenience. So, I mean, the two problems here seem very similar. Inconvenience of purchasing and logistic problems are it's like tautology. So just make it one sentence, right? So make it one sentence and qualify it that it is about spices, Solution. Your solution does not look like it's solving a logistic problem, right? It looks like a product description or a feature, right? So you can say we are customizing. I like this, customizable options to meet dietary needs, right? So we're customizing options. We're customizing. we're customizing options to meet dietary needs, with spices, 10 grams, 50 grams, 150 grams, and 200 grams. So that should be in bracket, not a mutually exclusive statement. So we are customizing options to meet dietary needs. Or you can put volumetric options, meaning that, so you're telling them that, look, one of the issues people have is helping to quantify and store manageable or sizable quantities of spices, right? So it doesn't look like a logistic problem, but it might be, but you are not showing that it's a logistic problem, right? You are only showing that you have partnered with a delivery company for shift, for quick. Is it quick you were saying, or swift? I think it was swift you meant to say instead of shift, for swift and easy delivery, right? So which means that so what you're saying is that you help people shop for spices, but they are your own spices. So you create your own spices, or you help source and you package the spices in your name, and then you deliver to people. Kofo, is that what you're doing?
I produce it myself.
So you produce and you deliver, right, to people?
Yes.
Okay, so but then it doesn't look like that's what you're doing here. Do you understand?
Okay.
Right. The problem is people. So make it easy. Make it look like, make it relational. So you can write the problem here is people do not know. For instance, because if I say this now, people will break my head here. Just say people do not know where to get sizable quantities of unique spices for their cooking. Right, because if you just say spices, they can say, but we know where to find curry and thyme. But maybe you are trying to put other things like turmeric, cinnamon, coriander, and so on and so forth, which is not easily available in the market. Is that true?
We produce ginger powder, garlic,
No.
pepper.
You have not answered my question. That usually what other people will find on the market is curry, thyme, but many people don't know where to. You don't have a lot of places where they sell ginger powder, coriander, moringa, and all that. Correct? But you produce that.
Yes, in sizes.
Good. Okay, good. So we produce, quote unquote, not readily available raw materials, not readily available spices, right, in sizable or in easy to carry quantities. Sorry, I'm thinking with you, very spontaneously. So just pardon my ideation of this, okay? Right. So just say we produce and sell via delivery hard to find spices in sizable quantities. That's very easy to understand. Very, very easy to understand. Then under it in bracket, you can now list all the spices you do or you produce, and you can then list the sizes of the spices. Remember, your solution is we produce and deliver hard to find cooking spices in sizable quantities. Oh, that doesn't sound so bad. Does that make sense to you, Kofo?
Yes, it does.
I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to change your definition, but do you agree with that?
No, it's perfect. What you're saying is perfect, sir.
Okay. Do you agree with the definition?
I agree 100%.
Do you think it solves? Do you think that's the solution you're providing?
Yes, exactly.
Do you think it's relatable for any other person who just carries your deck without meeting you?
Yes.
Good. Then if you like it and it's more relatable, then please write it, right? Then from that solution, then you can now say, it is hard to find and buy rare cooking spices. Then your solution is we produce and deliver hard to find cooking spices in sizable quantities. Then in smaller fonts, lower down the screen, you can now list all the spices and then list the sizes: 10 grams, 50 grams, 150, and 200 grams. Good. Your market. Global spices. Okay, you talked about global. So again, like I said, put your link where you got all this information from, and then also put it to Nigeria, because except if you are delivering abroad. Have you started marketing abroad?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
Okay, good. So put global, put Nigeria, but since it's locally sourced from Nigeria, please put that you source from then you said spice production sold to X dollar. Please qualify that. I don't know, is it $1, $2, 5 billion? So then your business is how you make money. Da 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 da. So this is what I would advise you to do. You say, so if I were you, what I would do is average sale of spice, of 1 unit of spice. So you do 70 plus 100 plus 400 plus 450 plus 500 plus 1000 plus 15 plus 2000 plus 25 plus 3000 plus 3005 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 divided by 10. It will now say average sale of one product is, let's say, it gives you 2,764 naira 0.5 kobo, for instance, right? Just say average sale of spice is that. Then you now say average profit margin 2 to 5%. That's all.
Okay.
You see that? Because when I say something, it's a bit mesmerizing, right? So just need to summarize it. Average sale of our single item costs about 2,000 naira, 1,000 and something and something and something naira, or 950 naira, and we make about 2 to 5% profit margin. In fact, if I were you, I will say average profit margin 2 plus 5 divided by 2 is what? 3.5%. Average profit margin 3.5%. Then when the investor is interested, they're like, okay, how, I know you sell a lot, I know you do this, then you will now break it down. Remember, your investor gets to meet your presentation before they get to meet you. So you need to make it as simple as possible. Advantage. Okay, so your advantage is variety, online delivery, forget the website marketing. So variety and door-to-door delivery, or variety, you offer variety and you do last mile delivery, right? Forget about the strategy.
So you said I should remove the website.
Yes. Yeah, because when you say online and ordering, it's almost like tautology. And then change the Swift response to Swift. You meant to say Swift, Abby?
Yes, I will.
All right, so Swift response. Don't forget, please. Strategy,
Yes,
you might not need to put strategy. Have it in your own personal arsenal, but your investor already knows that. Your investor can infer that since you do online, that that's how you meet, right? So you could just put your customer segments you do for, instead of strategy, your customer segments are um, uh, businesses. You sell to businesses, that's corporate organizations on bulk orders, or you sell to restaurants, you sell to this and that and all that, right? I am looking for financial. This is a bit vague. I will advise you to delete this. It's very difficult to understand. Your team, beautiful. Koforola, founder, blah blah blah. Oshe, boss lady. Sugar Janet, down, that one day. Kolakweju, legal advisor, soft. That's okay, good. But you might need to put 1 or 2 things that you've done. 5 years experience of spice manufacturing. So you put like one-liners of what all these guys have done in their lives, right? Just so that it gives some good credibility and credence to what they do. Traction changes. You might need to run your stuff through like a spell check errors, just so that, because sometimes if psychology, if they feel like you can like there's errors in your spelling, I mean some investors can be very finicky. So traction should change to traction. Your traction is, you're certified. CSE is not a traction, right? But it's assumed. NAVDAC is a proper traction, right? NAVDAC is a proper traction. SCUMO, it's okay. CSE, they expect that your business is registered, but it's okay. I'm just saying that you might want to highlight the NAVDAC way high, because I've heard 1 or 2 people say the rigors of having to get NAVDAC certified. So that you're NAVDAC certified means that you've done really, really good. So highlight it. It's not easy. Please, it's not easy. I celebrate.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Then your traction, you say 10,000 satisfied customers, right? Since you have 10,000 satisfied customers, just now write, we have generated X amount of revenue. Finish. So that's 10,000 customers multiplied by what you have. Let's just say 1,000 naira, which means you've done like 1 million naira in revenue, for instance. So put it there. It's part of your traction. So NAVDAC, 10,000 customers and 10 million naira of revenue. Amount needed, just write $55,000. So it's a loan, right? Again, this looks like a loan rather than equity. right? So just write, so, but if it's equity, if you want them to buy a fraction of your business, just write $55,000 for 10% of the business. That's all.
What if it's a grant?
If it's a grant, then that's fine. That, like I said, you might need to have 2-3. If you remember when we're looking at, was it Candy Farms now? No, the registered, the registered person. When we're looking at register, you will notice that we had a conversation, and you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 different presentations. So you can have a presentation. So a presentation for grants, you won't put how much equity you are given. But if you know that it's an investor that is going to collect equity or is expecting you to repay back, put it there, right? So because if you're sending it to me as an investor, I'm not going to give it to you as a grant. Do you understand?
Okay.
In other words, you're asking me to dash you money, and I'm not going to, by the sure message of David, I will not money as a grant. Right? Good. Now, expansion, you don't need to put this. Contact, absolutely important. Please, thank you for this. Everybody that has a pitch deck, make sure your pitch deck has a contact page. That is the final page. Whether it is this last slide that has thank you, right? Make sure that in your last slide, so that if somebody somewhere in the world sees your deck, they know how to reach you. Very important. Then your slides is 15 slides. We've deleted about 3 slides now. So it should be at 12 slides. So 12 to 11 slides. Thank you. Next person. I am very, very late for my meeting. I can take one more person. There's somebody that I cited for you, Ify. Who was that person?
Hey, was it Ify?
Yeah, I think it's Ify. After Ify,
So,
me.
have we done Ify now?
No, we haven't.
No.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. I'm here. I just dropped the link again.
After Ify, there's another person.
No vex now. No vex. Sorry.
Fair.
We did it. No problem. Okay. All right. Good. Really good. All right. So kids nutrition for kids Inc. Sorry, just one moment. I'm looking at my notification because my phone is ringing. Okay. So I have pushed my meeting to 1:00. So I have 10 more minutes.
Sorry, Mr. Please, can I ask a question? So when you were talking about the visions and goals, so are you saying for this kind of stuff, pitch deck, we should remove it, or
Yes,
we
please.
should put
Please.
it there?
Please.
Okay.
Please remove
Okay.
it. Or if you're going to put it at all, put it in after you have done your contact page where they have seen your email and your phone number. That's where you can now put it. You can now put, I am married with 5 children, so that they know that, you are a working mother. Just say, you can put your genotype, your NIN, your BV. You can put anything you want to put there. Just put, but the most important reason you're putting your pitch deck is you are showing that you're solving a problem, you have made progress solving that problem, and you need their money. Right. So every other thing is not totally irrelevant, but they are not necessary for what you're doing. So you need to put that at the back of your so they can see. For instance, if you're going to show them a detail of how your product works, put it at the back, put it in your appendices. If you're going to show all the awards that you've gotten, if they are too much or you have taken too many pictures, put it in your appendices, right? And so on and so forth. Right. So
okay, Mr. Bolu, I think I have a question.
Who is asking the question, please?
This is Adebola asking the question.
Please. Yes.
So in writing the pitch deck,
yes,
is there like an arrangement? If the problem is supposed to come before the traction, if the traction is supposed to come before the consider, is there like a proper arrangement for all of those things?
That's one of the reasons I said you should watch Shark Tank. Okay. People have different styles of presentation that is very comfortable for them. But usually what we find that applies in the industry, or what people usually do, is that they'll provide their problem statement, the solution to the problem they are solving. Then they provide context, which is market validation, right? That's the third thing. The fourth thing is that they show you how the product works, the product or service work. The fifth thing is that they show you how they make money from the business. Then the sixth thing is that they show the team behind it. That is the person or the people that are behind this project, right? Then your traction, how much progress you've made, and then how much money you're looking for. Now, we've had some cases where people will say, hi, my name is Bolu. I'm a pilot with a decade's worth of experience. So first off, some people come and start telling you, they'll tell you who they are, what they've done. It's not wrong, right? So some investors, so when they're like, this person is nice, he's a pilot, he has flown 10 years. Oh, wow. Okay, so what problem is this person trying to solve? Oh, okay, so in the aviation industry, people want to book private jets, for instance, and they they have issues. They have to walk to the airport. Our solution, we have built an online platform for people who like to build. So you see that I flipped it. I first started by introducing myself, showing that I have a decade worth of experience. I'm a pilot and this, that. So I've already shown credibility. So I'm telling you that, look, you need to listen to me because I have credibility. Now, this is the problem I'm solving. This is how I have solved it. This is the money that is there to be made. This is how much I make, and this is how much money I have made. You see that? So you can arrange it however you like, but you need to put at the back of your mind that you are telling a story, which means that all your slides must connect. You are telling a story. It's like watching a movie, right? There's a particular scene that needs to come before another scene. So even if the director decides to flip the scene in the middle of the production, they need to find a way to make it connect. That's what I'm saying. Have I answered your question, Debola?
Yes, you have. Thank you for that.
Good stuff.
Hello, sir. My name is Adane. Just a question. So I'm saying we have a meeting. Because you have a meeting, is there a possibility we can send the deck to you and after the class so that you can look at it?
No, ma. And I'll tell you why. Because my day is packed and tomorrow is also packed. Next tomorrow is packed. But I can probably squeeze in sometime if Debola arranges another call where we can just have a review for people who have decks too. And then we can just go through it together. So if you have your graphic designer on the call, you can tell the graphic designer to come. So we will just help move things around, right? But I can't look at it in my own personal time. We can do it because usually I make money from these things, right? But I can do another pro bono class for everybody, right? Before your next speech, and then we can just look at this. And if you have a graphic design, let them come on the call, tell them how to move it around. Good. So can everyone see this nutrition kids? This will have to be the last one I'm taking, please, because I am very late and my next meeting is by 1. I missed the last one, so this is it. All right. So nutrition for kids sing. Okay, nutrition kids, right?
Nutrition for kids, NG.
Oh, so please, you might need to put you might need to put maybe an hyphen NG or an underscore NG, or you put the NG in small letters, just so that it almost sounded nutrition for kids thing, but it's not really, it's fine. It's okay. I can see it up here, nutrition for kids NG, it's nice. So you might not need to put this nutrition for kids in, it's fine. Other people might not find it confusing, but it looks a bit, but I like the design. It's really cute. The daughter to the girl is very cute girl. Go. Problem. According to UNICEF, you see, I like this. According to UNICEF, soft. Nigeria faces a significant, beautiful. It's a bit too wordy, but yes, you're telling a story. Ranking second. This is really nice. An estimated 2 million. Soft. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Just pardon me. The commission narrative that babies should have to be heavily processed. Good. Now, this is really nice. You've told a beautiful story, but I need you to highlight. You still have not really. You've highlighted the issues. Well, we'll see what you are solving, right? Maybe that will help, but it's a bit vague, but you told a really beautiful story, right? Very beautiful story. Nigeria faces a significant challenge of childhood malnutrition, ranking. So instead of highlighting ranking second highest globally in stunted, I'd rather you highlight childhood malnutrition. Are you with me, Ify?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'd rather, because that's what you are. I've not seen your solution, but that's probably what you're trying to solve, right? So highlight childhood malnutrition instead of ranking, right? So then again, acute malnutrition. So I think what you're really solving here, without even looking at a solution, is malnutrition, right? And yeah, good. So, but make sure that all you are highlighting is what? Malnutrition. Because highlighting these other things is not allowing me to know exactly what you are solving, right? But it's a beautiful story. I love the story, right? Innovative, the solution is plenty. Okay. Farm to table e-commerce platform, community subscription platform, group private consultation, e-library store, nutrition challenge program. But you don't, this is not really telling me how you've, okay. You are building the Amazon for child nutrition product, Abby? Ify, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
If I were you, if it were to be me that owned nutrition for kids, or I was consulting for you, I would tell you, put it very, just like you did this program, put it very big. We are building the Amazon for child nutrition products. Then in smaller lines, you now put farm to table e-commerce platform, community subscription, private consultation, digital store library, PDA, because when you put it this way, I don't know exactly which one solves the problem of child nutrition. right? But this Amazon of child nutrition products, beautiful. Just blow it or make it very big. Then every other thing, now write them as smaller things that people can now read if they're interested in reading. Social impact, good, really nice. I can see your slide is a deck of 10 slides. I think it's beautifully designed. I think it's fine that you made it, because so what you're looking now, there are two types of investors you are looking for. There are two types of investors that usually would invest, or there are two kinds, not two types, two kinds of investors. You'll see impact investors who would usually invest in things like this, like they have the sustainable development goals, where you have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you have the World Bank, the IFC, the UN, UNESCO, blah 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 blah. So I think it's really nice that you highlighted the SDG things that you're addressing, but I think it should come further down the line. I think the next thing that should come up is your market size, which is good. Data sources, link one, link two. So I think this link one, link two, link three, I think it's a hyperlink, which means that you crunched all the links into this line. So meaning that if I click on it, it should bring up the link. Beautiful. I like that. So it did that. Beautiful. I like that. Really, really, really good. Really, really nifty. Really nifty. I think you should. This is beautiful. So everybody, please, you can learn from Ify. I think she's doing a really wonderful job. And traction, this is beautiful. See, Ify got a graphic designer to make it easy for her to present the things in her heart. So it's good. You've made $71,000 of revenue. Amazing. Net profit.
We did
$10.
actually get a graphic
No,
designer.
we didn't
Our
get.
team has a graphic designer.
You did it yourself?
Yes, we.
Yes.
I'm clapping for you. Wait, hold on. Amazing that you did this yourself. Beautiful. I think you should take presentation design as a side hustle. You can do this for your friends in this thing and then you make money. Please, if it's not for free, she's for sale. Okay, she's not for sale. Our services are for sale. Please, right? This is amazing. This is really, really good. Oh, this is really good. So total revenue, $71,000. Net profit, $10,000. Customer count, you have 2,000. This is beautiful. Unique orders. This is good. And you did all this with just 2 staff. Your investors should be happy. Your plan growth, amazing. Revenue call for startups. What is this? What are you trying to show?
So this was actually the pitch deck we submitted to get into this program.
Oh, okay. But why do you have this particular slide where you have mentorship funding? This is very confusing.
This is to show what we need the program for.
Okay, but if it's a pitch deck, you need to take this out.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Then your team, if Fenywa, co-founder, nutrition officer, and chief nutrition officer. I like that, chief nutrition officer. Beautiful. You came up with the title for yourself. Beautiful. Yes, BSc, Omalabake, co-founder, chief CTO. So CTO, you guys have a tech platform, Amazon for nutrition, child nutrition, correct? Child nutritional product. Have a website. Good, beautiful. That website needs to be, okay, good. I can see it here. www for nutrition for kids. Then beautiful. This is a very beautiful pitch deck. Everybody, please put your hands together for I wanted to say for nutrition, for Ify. I have to go now. Thank you very much for your time. I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be of help and service to everyone here. I hope our paths cross in the future. And this is where I drop the mic.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Bolu. That was a beautiful and a wonderful one. And to say a very big thank you for your time. Okay, so I think we'll need to let Mr. Bolu leave now. He said he has a meeting. And my community people, to REVP, thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this session amazing, and I hope you found it, what's the English terms? Someone give me, I don't know what to say, but I hope it has helped you.
Impactful.
Thank you, Ms. Kofo. I hope you found it impactful. I hope it has helped you learn how to prepare your pitch and how to pitch your business. So because of this class and because I'm a very good person, please, I want to blow my trumpet. So I'll be giving everybody the opportunity to go through their pitches again. So you go through your pitch. If you want to redo it, it's fine, and submit it to me tomorrow evening. So the reason tomorrow evening, tomorrow is Thursday, and the only working day we have left this week is Friday. And we have to send it to the investors on Friday because we will be pitching our business next week. So the days for next week, I think, is going to be on a Tuesday and Wednesday. Yes, Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm not sure. I'll get that information and get back to you on the group chat. But so we need to send it to the investors on Friday. So please try as much as possible to work on your pitch decks and send them to me on WhatsApp. My number is on the group, is at Debola. Yeah, so just send it to me on WhatsApp and I will compile all of that and send it to the investors on Friday. But if by Friday morning I do not get 1 or 2 persons pitch deck, then I am allowed to use the one submitted for this program. I hope I'm clear. So if by Friday morning there are few people that have not sent their pitch decks, I will just list the one you submitted when you were applying for this program and use that. So I have dropped the attendance box. The attendance